Hey family, how are y'all doing on this beautiful, wonderful night? So let me add blessed. It's a blessed night because it's a blessed thing to be in the presence of the Lord. It's a blessed thing to know that you are in his hands. It's a blessed thing to be in his will. No better place than his will, right? So really quickly, I want to come through with something that the Lord shared with me, and he told me to share it with y'all. So it's a lot of people who are starting to walk with God or have been walking with God, and you're wondering why you're receiving so many attacks. And if not the same amount of attacks, more attacks, you know, because we know that once you pick up the word of God, that does not mean that everything goes away. It just means that you're now in his will, and things are going to happen because it's going to test your faith, and it's going to test your strength and your dependence on God, whether or not you're going to walk away. So that's that. But the Lord is saying right now that there's a lot of attacks going on and you don't know why. This is the reason, because he sees you getting the enemy. He sees you getting closer to your promise. He sees you changing. He wants to prevent you from doing that. Because I remember when I first picked up the word of God, and I'm like, you know, I want to walk away from sin. I'm like, yo, like things just keep happening back to back. And I expected it all to just be perfect. And that's not what it is. If anything, it did get worse, but it gets worse before it gets better. The enemy will use your own thoughts. The enemy will use your own, your mind to fight and to war with you to get you to walk away. If he can't use that, he'll use somebody. He'll use somebody who is being used by the enemy, knowingly or unknowingly. Some people know that they're being used by the enemy, don't care. And then there's some people that don't even know they're being used as a tool. So the Lord said that misery loves company. He keeps repeating that, like, misery loves company. He literally keeps saying misery loves company. And he told me to share this. Proverbs 15:15. A miserable heart means a miserable life. A cheerful heart fills the day with song. And the way I received that in my spirit is misery loves company. And someone who has joy, someone who has real true peace, your day is already filled with so much that you don't even have time to be negative. You don't even have time to go out of your way to disrupt somebody else. But when you're living in misery, you can't help but to do it. You can't help but to cause strife. You can't help it. It's literally in these people to do this, and it's only to test you, to test your faith, to test how strong you are. Because remember, the way the world sees strength and the way that God sees strength are two different things. The way the world sees strength is like you have the ability to go off on somebody. That's how they see strength. They see strength as you could fight somebody as soon as something don't go your way. That's the way they see strength. The way that the Lord sees strength is being able to control yourself and not allowing others to control your mood or to change you as an individual, to change your character. That's real true strength, okay? And then we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. That right there is powerful, because a lot of people in the world see us as Christians as childish because we don't do certain things. Like they'll sit there and feel like since you don't curse, it's childish. And mind y'all, I have a dream to go along with this as well. If you don't curse, they see you as childish because you're not sinning against God. That's the reality of it. You're not sinning against God, but they see it as childish. Another thing, like certain things you might not watch. It might be too sexual, or it might be too violent, whatever the case may be. They see that as childish. The truth is you're just not brainwashed, but they don't see it like that. They see that as childish. Another thing, having joy, always smiling, laughing, full of just uncontrollable joy. They see that as childish. Right is wrong to them. But the truth, look, that's a whole, yeah, I'm gonna have to do more videos, because he showed me his perspective on how the world brainwashes people to stay as a child their entire life, But since they have possessions, that makes them grown, that makes them an adult. When in reality, being an adult and being mature is in your mindset, not in what you have or obtained, whatever it is. That's not true maturity. That's going to be another video. But anyway, this is just like, it's just showing that when you are walking with God, you're going to go through a transition. You're going to change, and it's going to be a dramatic change. People are going to look at you that used to know you and don't even recognize you. Yeah, it's a lot that changes. But the dream that I had, the prophetic dream the Lord gave me, is that I forgot where I was. I don't know if it was a salon. I feel like I was in a hair salon, and I was talking to people. It was a hair salon. So I was in a hair salon. I was talking to people, and there was this young female. She was probably like 19. I feel like she was like 18 or 19. And she was just like, she was being, I guess you could say she was being ratchet. She was cursing and doing all that extra stuff. And I wasn't when I was talking to them. Like, it was just maturity in my voice and in the way I was talking. And the girl was like, yeah, you got to act grown. And I was like, that's the problem. You're acting. You're not grown, but you think that since you're talking a certain way that you're grown. And the other people was like calling me immature because I wasn't cursing and being aggressive. But then when I was starting to be aggressive, like I started getting aggressive, I started cursing them out. And I was like, oh, now you think I'm mature. Now you think I'm an adult. Now you think I'm an adult because I'm doing this. That makes no sense. And then when I woke up from that dream, the Lord was like, don't be like them. I apologize for the noise in the background, but I'm gonna wait for that to pass. This too shall pass, so we're gonna wait. So yeah, when I woke up from that dream, the Lord was like, don't be like them. And I'm looking like, Lord, you already know I'm not. But that was just his way of showing me that these people are convinced or have convinced themselves that because they act aggressive and because they curse, that means that they're an adult. So much that that young girl thought she was more mature because she was acting crazy. Then when I act crazy, literally that's what it was. When I act crazy, that's when they were like, oh my God, she is an adult. Oh my God, she's crazy. Oh my God, she's mature. It's backwards. It's a backwards way of thinking. But listen, that's what the world is, right? The world is just completely backwards. The point of this prophetic dream is, do not let what people who are blind change your view of yourself or your walk with God or your transition. Don't let the worldly perspective alter your perspective. Do not let that happen. Do not. I repeat, do not let that happen. Because backwards to them is forward. Right to them is wrong. Light to them is dark. Like, everything's just completely and totally backwards. Yeah, don't pay attention to that. But y'all have a blessed day. I hope and pray that this blessed y'all the way it blessed me when the Lord gave it. Because it really lit me up in my spirit. Because y'all, like, really, when you really come to God, you realize how much this world is not of God. Like, when I used to live in sin and I used to do the worldly things, I didn't realize how demonic and evil this world was. I didn't. Because when you're in it, you don't see it. When you're in it, you think it's normal. And then once you come to God, you realize, yo, nobody really cares about God, but they say it a lot. That's like how you are when you're living in the world. You don't really care about God, but you say you do. You don't really love God, but you think you do because you say it. But listen, that's why in the word it says that people profess God with their mouths and not with their heart. Okay, they exalt them. I mean, they exalt him with their mouth, but not their heart. So, or their life. But yes, I just pray that the Lord has enlightened you with what he showed me. And have a blessed day, week, month, and a year. as always, in Jesus' mighty, holy, precious name.